Hey everyone, hi, how are you? How am I? Sick. I have COVID. And I have COVID after having gotten the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. It is currently October, I'm gonna say 9th. I could be wrong. I think it's Monday. I got my vaccine back in March, I want to say. I did have mild side effects from it. Lasted like a week. I was exhausted the whole time. And then I was good. Okay. I thought I'd go ahead and I don't know if I'm going to vlog all of this. I don't know how bad this is going to get. We'll see where we end up. I don't know what we're going to do here. But yeah, so I've had the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I did have side effects from it, as in I got sick, like I had COVID. It lasted like 6 days. Felt like a head cold. The head cold part lasted like 2 days maybe. And the rest of it, I just felt exhausted. Like could not hardly function, exhausted. But no problems breathing, nothing with my chest. So we roll around to today, and I just got back from vacation. While I was on vacation, I did go down to Brown County, Indiana. They've got a town there called Nashville, Indiana. Lots of little shops. It's a lot like Gatlinburg, Tennessee, just like much smaller. And they have a shop there called Wood Fairy Apothecary. And I popped in there to look at some things for a friend. And I started having a reaction to something in the store. It felt like my throat was closing up and I had to leave. And I started having a coughing fit. When I got outside, my mom, she was like, I'm surprised you went in there because there's such a strong smell in that store. And with your asthma, I'm surprised you go in there. It's very strong, like medicinal smells. I was like, that's weird. I smell nothing. And she's like, I can still smell it on my clothes. How do you not smell that? I'm like, I don't smell anything. Like, I didn't smell anything in that store at all. And it hadn't been up until that point that I noticed that I wasn't smelling anything. And then after that, I'll take that back. The day before, my husband and I were looking at some shops because I went with my mom, my dad, my husband, and my 2 kids. The day before, my husband and I were at the Twisted Wick candle shop, and I was looking at their little tarts, their little wax melt tarts, because I love getting those. It's like $5 for $5, like $1 a piece, whatever. I normally like getting them, but I was smelling them and I noticed that like they were so faint. But keep in mind, up at this point, like I felt fine, and I was like, and I've been vaccinated for COVID, so I wasn't thinking much of it. But I am getting over a massive double ear infection. I still have liquid behind my ears. I don't know what else to call that. And I'm currently on medication to help drain the liquid out from behind my ears. And so, and when I first had my ear infection pop up almost a month ago, I noticed I couldn't hardly smell anything. And so I went and got tested with that, and it came back negative. And so my smell being off has been going on for like over a month now, but it's never been completely gone. So when I was in the Twisted Wick candle shop and I was looking at their wax melts, smelling them, like I could kind of smell them, but they were extremely faint. And I just assumed something was wrong with their candles, like they were weak or something. I don't know. I didn't think it was me. Odd, I know, after saying everything with my ears, but there have been a couple weeks in between where like my nose had kind of gone back to normal. And so the next morning rolled around and went shopping with my mom, and I couldn't smell anything in that apothecary store. And that's when I noticed when I got home, I couldn't smell, well, back to our cabin, I couldn't smell my deodorant. I couldn't smell my perfume. But I really didn't think much of it, if I'm being honest. And I should have, but I just thought, oh, you know, something going on with my ears. I just kind of related back to that. And I just kind of assumed with the same thing with the candles the day before. I started thinking, well, it probably wasn't the candles, it's probably me. And I'm probably having problems with my sense of smell because I've got so much drainage going on with my ears. It's probably messing things up because on our vacation, my ears were draining a lot. So I just assumed it had something to do with that, right? So that brings us back to the here and now. Okay. Last night, I've been so tired since we got back from our vacation, and so is my husband. And him and I did not sleep very good on our vacation, and so we were just assuming it was because we were sleep deprived from vacation. So first night back, we both slept pretty good. Last night, like, I went to bed so early, like 6 o'clock, and I just passed out. So that was like day 2 being back from vacation. Passed out hard. And I didn't think much of it again because I thought, sleep deprived from vacation. And I guess I didn't sleep enough the night before. You know, my kids are going bonkers and acting normal. And my husband was feeling pretty okay last night, and he wasn't, you know, he was fine to be up with them. Roll around to later on in the evening, he comes to bed and he's like, I'm not feeling good, you know. He's like, I feel like I got a head cold coming on. So I started hitting him. And I was like, I just feel so tired. And he's been vaccinated too. He got his vaccine back in like January, and he had the Pfizer. So we both slept real good all night. In the middle of the night, he got really, really cold, which isn't normal for him. Normally he's like sleeping with a space heater. And he was very cold. So he was all bundled up all night, and I think he had a fever, but he never got up and took a test or anything. And so somewhere in the night, I woke up and decided to schedule myself for a COVID test because we were both coming down so tired. He was getting a head cold. I was starting to feel like I had some pressure on my chest. And I also noticed that my ears plugged back up because they were, after our vacation, my ears were almost like cleared out. And they started feeling they were plugged back up again. And I was like, I'm not smelling. I couldn't smell of that wood fairy thing a couple days ago. And like, I'm not smelling anything here at home. Like, this is a little concerning. I can still taste everything though. But I can't smell anything. I got home after 4 days being gone, and I couldn't smell the litter box. And that was kind of like a big sign of like, I should be able to smell that. Okay. Couldn't smell the litter box. The dog had an accident on the stairs. I don't know how he managed to poop on the stairs. If you've seen my dog, you know he's a big dog. And I'm like, halfway up the middle of the staircase, and you decide to take a dump there? I don't know how or why he chose that place, but regardless, I couldn't smell it. And that was those two were very like, oh, hey, I'm not smelling this. I think I need to get a COVID test. So I went this morning and got a COVID test. It came back positive. I had the rapid test, and I also did the one that takes longer. I went ahead and did them both just to be on the safe side, because the rapid test comes back more quickly. You get it in about 15 to 30 minutes. The longer test, but it has more chance of being faulty, is my understanding. The longer test is more accurate, but it takes you, I think, like 24 or 48 hours to get it back. And I was like, I want to cover my bases. So I got both done. The rapid test is really easy. They stick right inside your nostril. They really don't go past like the very opening. It's a little tickly. It's not a big deal. The longer test, the guy described it as going to feel like you get water stuck up your nose. You know, that kind of like the burning sensation when you get water stuck up your nose. And he was very spot on with that description. That was quite accurate. He stuck it all the way back there. He had to wiggle it around for like 5 seconds. It did not feel great. He counted me through. He was very nice about the whole thing. I closed my eyes and I breathed through my mouth, and that helped a lot with that. I was trying to breathe through my nose at first while he was doing it, and it was making it burn more. So if you get that done, close your eyes and breathe through your mouth. It'll help. So I haven't got my results back on that one yet, but my rapid result one came back positive. So I'm like, okay, that's all I need to know, right? So as the day's gone on, I've gotten more and more tired. Like, I feel like I could just pass out standing up, and my chest feels tight and it kind of burns. It feels like when you go outside and it's really cold out and your chest burns when you try to take a deep breath. That's how my chest just feels all the time. I've run around today. My dad woke up sicker than a dog. He's all kinds of congested. He had the vaccine too. Shortly after I got mine, I think I don't know if he got Pfizer or Moderna, but he's had his as long as I've had mine. Same with my mom. She got Johnaon Johnon. In case you guys are wondering about the vaccine, we seem to have had them all here in my family. Husband had the Pfizer. Pretty sure he has COVID. He's getting tested tomorrow. I had Johnaon Johnon. I've got COVID. My dad, who I was on vacation with, I can't remember if it was Moderna or Pfizer. It was one of them that takes the 2 pokes. And he's got COVID. I just took him to get tested this morning because he woke up so sick. So I went and picked him up and took him to get tested. My mom has had Johnaon Johnon. So far, she is symptom-free. Hopefully, she doesn't get it. We'll see what comes of it. My oldest boy is 5. He has 0 symptoms. I sent my plague baby to school this morning because, again, like this morning, my symptoms were very mild. I was a little tired, but I didn't think much of it. My chest was a little tight, but also like I'm an asthmatic. And I wasn't smelling much of anything, but like that's kind of been going on with this ear infection. But I was like, I'm not smelling anything. I'm going to go get tested. Because again, like my smelling went away at the beginning of my ear infection. So I got tested. It was negative. I told you this already. The smelling came back. Then smelling went away again. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. We're going to get tested just to be on the safe side. So after I found out I was tested positive, I got my test done at 8:30. My son's school started at like 8. I immediately called the school. I got my results back by 9. So I immediately called the school. I'm actually like on the way to the school because I'm pretty sure they're going to have me pick him up. And I'm like, hey, just tested positive for COVID. Had symptoms really start coming on me yesterday as far as like chest feeling a little weird. And not being able to like smell stuff. Like, so they're like, yeah, you need to come pick him up. And they're like, if you don't get him tested for COVID, he has to stay out of school for 20 days. So that's 10 days for me to run my thing of COVID, and then 10 days for him to make sure he doesn't get it. So since I was taking my dad to get tested anyways, I just took my son with me. I picked him up from school and got my dad. We went and got both of them tested. Levi handled it like a champ, and he came back positive as well. So far, he's symptom-free, and so far, Ira is symptom-free, who is my 2-year-old. Hopefully, both of them stay symptom-free. I'm not going to get Ira tested. I don't see a point to it unless he just came down excruciatingly sick or something. We can just assume he has it because I've got it. My oldest boy's got it, and we're pretty dang sure my husband has it. My husband's getting tested at work tomorrow. He works for like a nursing home facility, so they have their own protocols for their employees, and so he has to come in, and the nurse is going to come and take it in the car for him and bring him out his work laptop. So I already notified my boss, so I'm assuming I'm not going to work anytime soon. And since my son tested positive for COVID, that means that his quarantine starts today. So instead of being out of school for 20 days, he's now out for 10. So that happens with you guys. Just go get your kids tested. It's a really quick and simple thing to have done. My kid's 5 and he's squirrely, and I wasn't sure how he'd handle it, but he handled it like a champ. So after he's seen his pop do it, he had no problems. So, you know, if mine can do it, yours can do it, because mine is a lot to handle. So as far as symptoms go right now, again, like, can't really smell anything, can't smell anything. Chest is tight. I feel like I have a head cold trying to come on me, but like I can breathe pretty well. But I just feel so exhausted. That's probably the worst of it. I could just fall asleep standing up. Just could pass out. My chest is uncomfortable. It doesn't feel tight. Well, kind of tight. Like I said, it feels like when you go outside and it's really cold out and you take a deep breath and it makes your chest burn. It just feels like that. So it's uncomfortable and kind of tight, and just, I've got a mild cough. I'm coughing a little, but not a whole lot. Not sneezing. I feel somewhat congested, but like it's in my ears. It went all back in my ears, which so sucks. I can't seem to get over this dang ear infection. I've had it all month of September, and here we are in October, and it's like, oh, I swear I had like a day of my ears being back to normal, and then I woke up today and they're clogged back up again, and I'm like, fantastic. Awesome. So here we are at 14 minutes into this video. That's the gist of it. If you're here for that kind of information, I will continue to vlog the rest of my COVID experience in case you're curious. I'll check it back with you guys later, but you should be caught up now if you just wanted to know about the, hey, you got COVID after having the vaccine. I sure did. Here's the vaccines I got, and I got COVID. So we'll see how bad this gets. Hopefully I've heard when you get the vaccine, you can still get COVID, but it's supposed to keep it from getting too bad. So we'll see. And I'm an asthmatic, okay? So I've been a little bit afraid of getting COVID this whole time, especially not being vaccinated. I was terrified to get COVID not being vaccinated because I get the worst chest infections. So fingers crossed that I don't end up at the hospital, but I'm going to bring you guys along for the ride. So let's see. Next 10 days, let's see how this plays out. So I'm sitting down to eat lunch. For breakfast, I had like a little hunk of pretzel bread, and it tasted good. It tasted fine. I could taste that. Having lunch now. Husband made nachos using tortilla chips, ground pork sausage, and then there's some cheese in there, queso cheese and regular shredded cheese. And all I'm tasting is salt, and I'm getting some heat from the pork, but I really can't taste it. So, huh?
Pork chop?
I didn't say pork chop, I said ground pork. Ground sausage. So, there we are. Losing my sense of taste, too. Okay, we're coming back for another update on my lunch. I ate all that I could stomach out of that. It was like just eating plain salt. Like, that's all I could taste. Otherwise, there's crunchy from the chips, and the meat was just like having mush in my mouth that was tasteless. So, this might be the best diet I've ever been on. It's taking all the pleasure out of eating. So, yeah, I just ate until I'm no longer hungry, and we're done now. So, we'll see if I feel like eating at dinner or not. So, I just got into bed to lay down. Before this, I was in the living room. I was going to come in here anyways because I'm very tired. And I was playing a rousing game of kick dog. And I feel like I can't breathe. And I would just show you how it's done. If I think about it, I'll take a clip. I'll play it with him again later. Please sit down. Please sit down. It's a game my dad made up with my dog when I was a kid, and I do it with all my dogs. They seem to like it. Think hacky-sack, but with your dog, and that sounds mean. But the goal is to barely touch them with your foot. You're not kicking your dog. We call it kick dog. You're barely kicking your dog. You're barely touching your dog. You touch them with your foot. And they're gonna bite at you and stuff and play around, but they always seem to enjoy it. They do the play about and their tails wagging and they want to jump up and down. They get all excited. I was doing that with Yoshi just now. If I think about it, I'll do it again with him and I'll film it. If not, he's not being hurt. It's a way of playing with him. And yeah, now I gotta catch my breath. I guess yeah, I shouldn't be that winded from that. So, we also got an update. Levi's entire class is being quarantined. And then the neighborhood kids who he rides the bus with, our next door neighbors, they're getting quarantined for being close contact from contact tracing. So, she's going to take them and get them COVID tested. So hopefully they're negative and, they can keep doing their thing. But so far, the kids don't have any symptoms. They're just watching TV, and husband's playing video games. He seems to be feeling fine now. He was not feeling good last night or this morning, but he seems a lot better now. Again, my biggest issue is just I feel so tired. I just want to pass out, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get some sleep. Okay, I thought I'd come on here and give you guys one last update here for day 1 of having COVID. I've taken a lot of little power naps throughout the day. Like, I just have to stop and sleep. Like, I just feel so tired. As far as my sense of taste goes, it has gone downhill. I'm to the point now where, like, I can distinguish the taste between salty and sweet and sour. But there's no real distinguishing flavors. Even that pretzel bread I told you guys I had this morning that I could taste. Yeah, now I can taste the salty. I am not tasting the bread itself. My husband made pizza today for dinner, and it tastes like I was just putting piles of salt in my mouth. I ate it because I was hungry. It wasn't great. And then I tried to eat an apple, and it just tasted like straight sour. Like no apple flavor, nothing's, it just like sour. And it's like, oh my gosh. It makes me think about back when you were a kid and you're learning about like your sense of taste and like where those parts are on your tongue. Do you guys remember doing that in school? And I feel like they had some kind of a paper they made you lick or something to determine things. I don't remember. It's been so long ago. But yeah, salty, sweet, and sour is all I can really taste. And the crazy thing about the apples is like, I think it was yesterday. Yeah, I had one of those apples for breakfast and it tasted amazing. Sweet, crisp, crunchy, a little sour. I mean, you know, it's an apple. Tangy, I guess should be the right word. Not really sour, but I guess under a flavor profile, tangy would fall under sour probably. But I tried eating some today and it was, oh man, that was bad. I couldn't eat it. I gave it to the dog. Levi has no symptoms. But he didn't eat his apple either, so I'm wondering if his taste is getting a little off, maybe. He ate his chicken nuggets, and he ate his cheese, and he ate everything else just fine, just not his apple, so I don't know. But so far, everything I taste, like, I can determine between sweet and salty, and then everything else is just, like, very, very bland. Occasionally, I'll take a bite of something, and there'll be, like, a hint of flavor, but it's so mild, like, it's so muted that it's weird. It's so weird. It really just takes the joy out of eating, honestly. Water still tastes normal, so I've been drinking that all day long. I'd be a little concerned to find out what anything else tastes like drink-wise. I don't know. I'm trying to give up pop anyway, so I guess maybe this will help. We have like milk and tea in the fridge and lemonade. Oh, I bet lemonade would be disgusting right now. If all I can taste is sweet, sour, and salty, oh, lemonade would probably be real gross. We'll have to see how I'm feeling tomorrow, but I don't know, can I go to the grocery store? That's probably not recommended. I'd love to pick up some food and do one of those videos where like you try things you don't normally like when you have COVID because you can't taste it and see if you can taste it. I think that would be so funny, but I don't think I can go to the grocery store, so I don't know. My chest still feels really tight, but I'm overall breathing okay. I really feel like, you know, when you like spend a day at the pool and you swim a lot and maybe you've sucked down some water on accident or something, and it's like your chest feels kind of tight and burny, kind of burns a little, like your mucous membranes got messed up because you sucked in some chlorinated pool water. That's kind of how my chest feels. Yeah, it hasn't gone away. I've spent the day editing a couple of videos. One of them was my cabin tour, and all I could hear in that video was how out of breath I sounded. I'm not sure when I got COVID, and I'm not sure who I got it from, but I'm pretty sure I had it during our trip. I mean, like I said, I went into a store on Saturday, and I couldn't smell anything. Today's Tuesday. Did I say today's Monday? Today's Tuesday. And on Saturday when I went to that store, I couldn't smell anything. I've had drainage, which I'm sorry for that word, going on since like last Thursday-ish. But again, like I had so much congestion in my ears from this ear infection. Well, the ear infection itself is gone, but I had leftover liquid, I don't know what to call it, behind my eardrum. So the doctor had me on a variety of medication to help drain that. So I had a lot of drainage going on, and I kept feeling like it was going to my chest, and then I'd cough a bunch, and it'd come up, and then it'd go away. But otherwise, like, I felt fine. And so I just chalked it up to all the drainage I had going on from my ears. And my ears were feeling better. They'd pop all random and stuff, and they'd clear out, and I could hear, and it was weird. So I just assumed everything going on was because of my ears, like I said. But looking back on that now, and I can see myself just like wheezing in the video and knowing how much congestion I had, and I'm just like, how much of that was because my ears were draining, which they obviously were, they were getting better, and how much of it was because I had COVID? Like, I don't know how long I've had it. I don't know, you know. I dated my symptoms when I reported everything to being on Saturday, because that was the first day that I realized I couldn't smell inside that apothecary. And I didn't even realize I couldn't smell. I didn't realize there was a smell to smell, except for my mom said something. If it wasn't for that asthma attack, I wouldn't have even thought about it. But I went ahead and decided to get the COVID test because my dad has a medical appointment coming up this week that he wanted me to come with him for. And I knew I wasn't smelling things correctly. And I had like all this congestion and drainage, and then my husband started feeling sick, and that started making me think, well, it's not just a me thing if he's getting it too. So that's what made me make the appointment to go get tested. Then of course my dad woke up sick this morning, and I found out about him being sick after I had my appointment to get tested. So we're all a mess here. But I will check in with you guys tomorrow. Hopefully things don't get any worse. Good morning. Day 2 of COVID. I need a shower. My hair is looking greasy. Weird part going on up there. Just woke up. It's not quite 8 in the morning. So my husband just tested positive for COVID at his job. Like I said, he works at chain nursing homes. They have like their own protocol for all this. And so he had to go to the office, and they came out and tested him themselves. It's a whole thing. I don't know. So he's on his way home. I don't know how long he has to quarantine for. He seems to be feeling pretty good through all this. I mean, he's definitely congested. I can hear it in him. But as far as his energy levels, like, he didn't take a nap at all yesterday, whereas I was, like, taking cat naps throughout the whole day. Like, I'd just be sitting there, and I'd be, like, with eyes closed, just nodding off. I'm so tired. Like, it doesn't seem to matter how much sleep I get, still tired. My ears are both plugged right back up, so I'm like, I don't know what the heck's going on with that, because right before we came home back on Sunday, when I was still feeling pretty good, my ears were nearly completely empty and clear and normal, and now they're plugged back up. So I don't know what's going on with that. My chest still feels like it's kind of burning. It's a really mild sensation, but it's still there, and it's not pleasant. But it's not like, the worst thing ever. It's just a mild annoyance at this point. The tired feeling is what's got me. So, like I said, it's almost 8 in the morning. My oldest boy's already up. He got up at like 6:30. I haven't even seen him yet. He just said good morning and went to play his iPad, and I have not. I haven't gotten out of bed. But I need to. My youngest one needs to get up. He's still in bed. Check on the kids and everything. I need to get a shower. And yeah, as far as sleep last night, it was delicious. With this, you feel so exhausted that when you do sleep, it's like the most delicious deep sleep ever. But then when you wake up, it's like you need more. It's not enough. It hasn't done anything. Like when you're sleeping, you feel like, oh, I'm going to wake up, I'm going to be so recharged because I'm going to sleep so hard. And then you wake up and you're like, no, I could go right back to bed. It did nothing for me. Still tired. Okay, guys, it's like 10:15 in the morning. I just managed to get that shower I desperately needed. Kids are awake, fed, not dressed. I'm just letting them hang out their pajamas. There's really no reason to get them dressed. I just tried doing a survey that the Indiana government sent for me. I think it's something that all states are doing, because I remember my friend Melissa Caitlin here on YouTube, I can leave her channel link below if you're interested in watching her COVID experience. They sent her a link to a survey they wanted her to take in the state of Maine, just describing her experience with COVID and trying to do contact tracing. So I know that's something that's like isn't going on. She had her COVID like a year ago. So my cat was in the kitchen, wanted out of the kitchen. Now he wants back in the kitchen, and it's locked. So he's crying. He's over there crying. So anyways, yeah, I tried to do my survey, and I tried to put in that I went to the War of 1812 reenactment in just outside Marion, Indiana, Mississinawa area. Didn't like the address I was putting in. Didn't like the amount of people I was putting in. But like, I don't know the exact amount of people, and I'm just kind of guessing on the address. So I'm like, I don't know what to tell you, okay? And so then I skipped that one and tried to put in that I was down in Brown County, Indiana, Nashville, Indiana, did shopping and stuff. didn't like the address I was giving, didn't like the amount of people. And I was like, well, that's just baby's first website here, okay? Like, why does the U.S. government have such crappy websites? It's 2021. And I swear when I got on this website, it looked like I could expect a dial-up tone. And it was struggling to load everything, and it just did not like the answers I was giving it. And I'm like, get a better website. I don't know what to tell you, okay? So then there's a number there to call if you wanted to just do the survey over the phone, or they will call you later. So I called just to do the survey over the phone, and the lady couldn't hear me and hung up the phone. So I'm like, well, that's not my problem. I tried. So yeah, drinking some water, got some ice water right here. And I had a banana for breakfast, and I've had some of these peanut cluster things from this Christmas set I picked up. The banana just was like sweet mush in my mouth. Just sounds really weird. Wasn't any actual flavor to it. Oddly enough though, the peanut clusters, like I think I like them so well because not so much that I'm tasting chocolate. I don't taste chocolate at all. The peanuts, I'm getting a very mild taste of peanuts, like very, very mild aftertaste. It's so mild, it's like barely there. But I've got the sweet and the salty, and it's like the most complex flavors that I've had. Everything else is like either like it's so sour, it's so sweet, or it's just so salty and or very bland. And that has like complex flavors. Like, I don't know. So that's my little update right now, and I'll check with you guys later on. Hi. It is like a little after 3 p.m. and I am having the hardest time getting myself to wake up from this nap. I just want to like go right back to sleep. The blankets have claimed me as their own. Leave me here and go on with life. I went to bed as soon as Ira went down for a nap at 1, and I slept so hard. You would think I'd be waking up so well rested, but it's like it never happened. It's like this glorious nap, I never had it. Oh my goodness, I've been lying here for probably 15, 20 minutes. And I open my eyes, I look around, and then I drift right back off to sleep. Repeat the process. It's a struggle. I am so tired. And thankfully, though, fatigue is like the only real symptom I'm having right now from this whole COVID thing. Chest is a little tight, but it's not, like, I get winded easy if I do a lot of, like, if I run up, not run, but like if I go up the stairs, like I'm gonna have to go get Ira here soon. Or like when I took him in there to go put him down for a nap, like it winded me. So, fast movements. Much of any movement, it winds me. But, otherwise, I'm just so tired. Oh my God, I'm so tired. This is like the kind of tired you get, or at least that I get, with like second trimester pregnancy, where you just can't get over the tired. Oh my goodness. But I need to go start on Levi's schoolwork for the day, so I'll check back in with you guys later. Hello. It is Saturday the 22nd. I'm finishing up this video, editing it, and I thought, I need to give you guys a last update. So, last week, when you guys were seeing this, exhausted, as you can tell throughout the video. Lots of yawns, wanted to be in bed, was in bed a lot. So, that went on for the better part of the week. The first 3 days, like Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, was, oh my gosh, I was exhausted, like taking cat naps throughout the day constantly, tight chest, as I explained about 1 million times in this video. And then after that, I had Friday, Saturday, Sunday last week, where I was tired, but I didn't need to take naps throughout the day. I was able to make it through the whole day. And then this whole week, somewhere between Sunday, Monday, somewhere in there, All my symptoms were gone by then, and I felt completely fine, and I was going absolutely stir crazy being stuck in the house. So I even at one point was doing laundry outside, like sorting, I should say. I was sorting laundry outside, switching everything over for the kids, fall, winter stuff. I took it all out of storage, and I just did it all outside because I needed a change of scenery, some sunshine, something. Like, I was going stir crazy. And I would take off at like 8 o'clock at night and go play Pokemon Go when the kids were in bed because I was so bored. It's hard to go do that stuff when they're awake, but when they're in bed and my husband was here, I would just like take off and go drive around, do all the Pokestops because I was so bored. Oh my gosh. Our quarantine was up this past Thursday. Today's now Sunday. And oh my gosh, when I tell you Levi was driving me up the flipping wall, oh, that child was just full of energy. He was at one point standing at the dining room window while our neighbors were having a bonfire. And how our houses are set up is that our next door neighbor, like their backyard bumps right up to our house, and then our backyard bumps up to their house. So our houses aren't really technically next door. Like, I'm next door to their backyard and they're next door to mine, but like they're my only neighbor on the street. It's kind of weird. So when you look out my dining room window, you look into their backyard, and Levi, they were having a bonfire, and Levi was at the window yelling at their kids, trying to talk to them, and he's like, I can't come play with you, I'm a COVID. And he was just like playing his iPad and then yelling out updates on his game the entire time. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I felt so bad for my neighbors. They're just trying to have a relaxing time. And Levi's like giving it a play-by-play on his video game right now. So as soon as he got out of quarantine, he was off and running, and he's been go ever since, wanting to play with his friends. That's all he wants to do, which I don't blame him, the poor guy. He never had any symptoms, which is good. Ira had like 2 days where he had diarrhea. I hate that word. But he never had any other symptoms other than that. He had a few days where he seemed extra eager to go down for his nap, like took himself up the stairs to bed, kind of extra eager. But he always likes to sleep anyways, and he's 2, in case y'all are new here. My youngest is Ira, and he's 2, and my oldest is Levi, and he's 5. And Ira loves to sleep. He will sleep as long as you let him. In the mornings, we have to go wake him up. And then at nap time, he will sleep as long as you let him. We have to go wake him up. He likes to sleep. So it's kind of hard to tell with him. Clearly he had something going on with his tummy for him to be having the squirts like that. But for as far as him going to bed, like, was he tired because he's sick, or did he just want to go to bed because he likes going to bed? Like, it's hard to tell with him. Yeah, I can breathe better. Hopefully you're not hearing me panting over here, like, throughout this whole video. I've also edited other videos, and you can just hear me, like, struggling to breathe in them. Like, I've got a grocery haul that's about to get posted later this week, and I feel like I'm panting throughout the whole thing. I do still catch myself getting kind of winded easier than, normal. So I think I've still got some kind of lasting effects from that. I've also have not regained my sense of smell. Like, occasionally I'll get a whiff of something. Like, I stopped burning my candles or doing the wax melts throughout all of this because there's no point. I couldn't smell them. But I kept spraying my body spray because it's just like a habit. It's like part of my daily routine is I do that in the morning. And a couple of times throughout the day, I'll grab my body spray and spray it. It's just a habit. But I felt very wasteful doing it because I couldn't smell it. But now occasionally I'll get a whiff of it and I'll be able to smell it. But overall, like, my sense of smell is still pretty much gone. And my sense of taste has improved greatly. But it's not what it used to be. Things are still very muted in flavor. And sometimes I'll try something and it's like, I might get like parts of it. Like, my cousin had me try a drink she had earlier as an orange dreamsicle. There's a drink place near her house that does specialty drinks. And so it was a Sprite with like orange flavoring and vanilla flavoring. They like make it themselves. Like, I know you can go out and buy like an orange creamsicle drink, but this is one that's like specially made or whatever. And I tried it, and it was kind of like seltzer water with a hint of lemon is what I was getting from that. It was like, it was okay. It sounds delicious, and I'm sure that it is. But what I was getting was mediocre at best. So I'm interested to try that once my sense of taste is fully back. Hopefully sooner than later. But yeah, I'm sure questions people are going to have, is it worth getting the vaccine or not? And I'm going to say, yeah, I think it is. I have family who have gotten COVID without getting the vaccine, and it's been so much worse for them. I mean, yeah, I had a crummy week. I was tired a lot, and that was like the worst of it. Like, I've had head colds and actual flus worse than I've had COVID. But I think that's because I had the vaccine. If I did not have the vaccine, I would be worried to see what that could have or would have been. So I think it's worth it. My husband back there, he's all good now. He had very, very mild symptoms. He said he felt like his head was on the tilt-a-whirl a little bit, but that was about it. And of course, that first night, I told you guys, he was very cold all night. Felt like he had a head cold kind of coming on, but his symptoms were very, very mild. My mom, like, she got feeling really tired for a couple of days, kind of head coldy, but not really nothing much going on. And then after like 3 days, she was good. And my dad, I think his symptoms mirrored mine pretty closely. And after about 3 to 4 days, he was pretty good too. So, and like I said, we've all been vaccinated, and it ran the gamut on what we had. So I would still recommend getting it. I think it's worth getting. So yeah, that's it for my COVID experience. So I'm going to let you guys go because it's getting late at night. I want to get this vlog finished. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, found it informative. Maybe, yeah, there's not much more to say about that. If you're new, I hope you decide to check out my channel. See if there's anything else you'd like to watch. Maybe hit the subscribe button. We can be internet friends. I do a lot of lifestyle and vlogs and mom-related content and motherhood stuff. And then, yeah, so give it a thumbs up or a thumbs down. I just appreciate the engagement. Come connect with me in the comments down below. I love chatting with you guys, and I will catch you guys in my next video. Bye.